Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Video Content School weekly download. How are you doing out there? Hope you're having a great day and you're ready for a really good stream today. And the reason why is today I'm going to be talking about the five core members that I believe anyone should have when you have a low budget film or a video. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I think everyone, if you're in America or just in the world, you're kind of worried about the oncoming recession or people with low budgets that cannot afford your services. So I wanted to create this video for all the folks out there who have to deal with low budgets. And so why that's important is that if you don't have a big budget anymore, can you create a really good video? So for today's weekly download, I'm going to talk about what are the four core members that you should actually hire and also have on your set and in your video production so you can produce the best video for yourself or for your client. Now, the first, of course, I think that you need a producer. Now, the producer to me is the main coach. They are the manager. They are the one that puts the whole team together. They get the money. They allocate the money. They handle the budgets. They actually do the location scout. They can do everything. Okay, the producer is kind of the wearer of all hats and the jack of all trades. Now, of course, a lot of the producers out there like myself, producers are more than that. I know. I mean, you can become an executive producer for a movie if you just, invested in the film. You can get a producer credit, right? But producers, what they usually are the people who actually take an idea and they can actually option a script or actually just take a director or writer's idea, and they're the one who puts everything together so that they can execute the vision. Now, why I feel like the producer is a very, very important role is because a producer for a low budget production can also act as the account manager. The producer can be like the business lead when it comes to dealing with a client, dealing with rental equipment, dealing with cast and also crew and then locations. And they're the ones who actually puts everything together. They're like operations, like the COO of a business. Right? The producers are very, very crucial because I believe they're the ones who do all of the business and I think pragmatic and logical and basically uncreative things that will leave the director and writer to be able to do all the creative things that they need to do in order to make a really great video. So the producer just takes all the uh, administration duties and all the business tasks away from the director and writer so the director and writer can actually have more time to be creative. So a producer is super important, and I feel like a lot of people start off as a producer, director, and writer when you are a videographer. You just don't know it, but you are producing. Usually, if you're a one-person videographer, you are producing a lot of the work, right? You get the gig from the client, and then you set up the schedule of where it needs to be set, filmed. You find the location, you find the crew, you find the cast, you rent the equipment. You go there on set, you have to handle craft services and lunch and contracts, and then you have to make sure the editor executes the vision. All right, that's producing work. So, other than producing, I think the writer and director is also very important. So, a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is going to be multiple roles that could be held by one person. That's what happens when you have a low budget. So I think that if you had a director who is a creative director, someone who can come up with ideas, the one that's going to be pitching the idea to the client, and the one that's going to come up with the script, the storyboards, the treatments, the shot list, and then on set, they're the ones who tell the camera operator and how to set up the shots, and also they're the one that directs the talent and cast for the best performances. And then in post, they're the ones who also have the creative input for the editor to make sure that everything is executed properly according to the script, the creative brief, or whatever the client wants, or whatever the original vision was. A writer and director is very important. It's good to have a director that can also write as well. It's great when you have someone that can write the shot list and the scripts and the treatments and the mood boards, and someone who has just overall very creative, and they're the one who take the reins on a project creatively. It's very important. Now, usually when you are a videographer, a one-person crew, you are the creative person. and you write everything, and then you also direct everything, you produce everything. But honestly, if you can have the budget, I would actually separate the producer and then the creative role, because then you can be more creative and spend more time with the creative ideas and also directing the cast and talent on set so they get the best performances. Now, the third core member is the director of photography, who also doubles up as the camera operator. And then this is going to make a lot of people angry, but I would actually get a videographer that could do also sound and lighting. Again, this is low budget production. And if you only have 5K to spend on a production, these are the members that you need to hire. Someone, people who can wear multiple hats. And that's why I like hiring people who are directors of photography or cinematographers who also have the camera equipment that they can bring on set, so they know how to operate the camera and you don't have to rent equipment. At the same time, they have a very simple lighting setup. It's probably an aperture or GVM LED lights, or if you have the budget, you can actually ask the DP to see if he or someone in his camera department or a grip or a gaff that he knows who has a grip truck and they have some sky panels or whatnot. Anyways, a really versatile director of photography who also has the camera equipment and lighting equipment and knows how to operate the camera, and at the same time has some simple sound equipment, whether it is lavalier mics or a shotgun mic. That's the crucial part, right? Because you need to capture the image and the audio and need someone that actually can bring a lot of that equipment. So I'm usually that person, right? So I'm speaking from experience of being the one person show where I'm handling everything, and from creative to business to operating the camera to directing for on-screen performances. So when it comes to hiring folks for a director of photography, try to find someone who can do all the roles if you don't have enough budget. Of course, the best camera department crew would have the director of photography, the camera op, and a camera assistant, and then a grip and a gaff, and so much more, right? But I feel that having a all-around versatile director of photography / camera operator that has sound and lighting equipment is going to save you a lot of money and a lot of time, and also make sure that everything is captured correctly. And while you're actually on set and you have that person there, you should have some sort of PA, camera assistant, or production manager who's also on set. And that's the fourth role. Because when you have just you and then the producer and then the DP / camera op who does sound and lighting, who is going to be the one that gets the lunch orders or lets people into the building with the key card for the set, or has people sign the release forms, or even just goes on errands or a coffee run, or needs to pick up something for the set. You need some sort of PA or production assistant or camera assistant on set that can do a lot of things, okay? And they're also going to be the ones that can help with setting up the sound, or even holding the boom, or even doubling up as the camera assistant, or even a camera op, or helping with lighting, right? You can hire 2 PAs, right? That's what I usually do. If I have just a very low budget, I'll have 1 PA. But having 2 PAs is great because they can really help with a lot of the small things that you don't think about the day of a shoot. All right, and then of course the fifth member that I think is super important is your editor and also post supervisor. So hiring someone that can handle all facets of post, especially when you're on your low budget, you want someone that you can send the image to the footage to and the audio to, and they could edit the footage. At the same time, they can mix the sound, they can add sound design, and also color grade or color correct, and then add some motion graphics and some text. It's a lot to ask for, but again, we're on a low budget, and finding those people can be rare, but usually you can find these folks. And again, I used to do all of this. So I know how to grade, I know how to color correct, I know how to mix sound, I know how to add sound design, and then I know how to add Envato elements, text animations from templates, okay? So a lot of this really depends on who you hire and also how you split up the roles. Now, I told you that a lot of these roles will be, they'll wear a lot of hats and have a lot of tasks and things that they need to do that normally requires multiple people. But again, this is for recession-proof core members for a low video production. And when it comes to post, having an editor that can handle all of that, plus if you do have a little bit more money, an editor that can actually find the colorist. They can also find the sound mixer and the sound designer. They can also, find the animation, the animator, animation studio, the person that puts everything together, right? A really great editor slash, post supervisor, they can actually look online or ask around for these different roles, and they can be the conduit for a lot of the post tasks, and making sure that all the assets that come in from, let's say, VFX and color and sound all get conformed into the timeline and all is on schedule. Okay, so honestly, when it comes to post, there are so many different ways to handle post, but having an editor that can do it all is amazing. Also, an editor that knows how to do it all and can also talk to those different departments and also supervise on how those the color looks, how the sound sounds, and how the VFX looks. It's very, very crucial, because the producer can also help when it comes to pushing the project forward. And of course, the director is going to be there for like quality control and for their vision and making sure everything looks great. But a great post supervisor slash editor can take all those elements and all those roles and all those people together and make sure that things are actually cut into the timeline like an online editor, and packaged nicely for the client to watch or for the director and producer to watch for reviews. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I deal with post all the time right now. And if you're working with multiple vendors and you're just sending or piecemealing or sending, one email per update to the client, like here's a shot that we did, here's another shot that we did 2 hours later, here's a sound mix 4 hours later, it's too much to keep track of. Sometimes it's best to wait for a batch of post deliveries. Like you should wait for the sound mix to come in if you're also waiting for VFX and you're also waiting for the text animation. That way you can send it all together to the client and they can just approve everything at one time rather than having multiple emails. Look, it just depends on your timeline and your schedule and also your client. So those are the 5 members or core members that I feel are very crucial for a low budget video production that will really get the job done and really help you produce a really high quality video for a low budget. And again, that's a writer and director that handles all the creative. It's the producer who handles all the business and all the administrative and all the operations of the video production. There's also the director of photography slash camera op who brings the sound, lighting, and the camera so that they can capture the sound and footage for the video. And then you have the production assistant slash production manager and camera assistant and overall on-set help. And then you have the editor slash post supervisor slash colorist or sound mixer and designer and text animator and motion graphic designer, and maybe even a VFX artist or a VFX supervisor. And that right there is just the core, I would say, elements of a video production: pre-production, production, and post. And just having a lead role or someone who handles each part of those phases of production is very important. So you're not taking on everything by yourself. And usually when you take on everything by yourself, you start spreading yourself thin and you start sacrificing quality in some of those phases and some of those areas. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, I wanted to do this because we are heading into times where a lot of clients aren't paying a lot for video productions and for videos. So you need to be scrappy, and you also need to create high quality content to set yourself apart from other people and really make use of the budget that you have and you're given. And at the same time, make sure that you get paid, right? If you let's say get a 5K budget and you hire a crew of 10, 15 people, you might not be part of that payroll, right? So pay yourself, okay? And the best way to really ensure that is making sure you have a team that can handle a lot of roles and also do it in a way where you still have control of the overall process. well, not the whole thing, but if you're the producer or the main executive producer, like you still need to have some sort of control, especially when it comes to dealing with the client. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below or email me at mitchell@videocontentschool.com. This is a weekly download. Remember, I post every single week, and I'm here to help you grow your video production company and video career with any experience and knowledge that I gain from being in the business and being on the road and in the streets and doing the dang thing. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Please like, comment, or share this with anyone you think would find this helpful. And tune in next week, and hopefully I'll have some amazing, incredible knowledge and topics for you to learn to help you in your video career. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.